me, Nortey by nature. Whichever way you look at it, it's a gift, it's a blessing. Yeah, the troubles may pound. But we're blessed for every day above ground, right? Take some praise and come back for Ultimate Health on Joy99.7 FM.
Gospel music has gone to
Kirk Franklin and GP, God's people.
oh yeah. Put them together. Make me clap my hands. Make me wanna dance. Put your hands together. Come on. Put your hands together.
Put your hands together, right? Yeah. May 17th was World Hypertension Day. We're continuing our education, our information, our transformation. Hypertension, know your BP, control it, live longer and healthier.
Pick a classic.
I've got them seats in the upright position. Definitely they're not smoking. And I don't think they need seat belts. Wing Commander Dr. Benjamin Tobo and Dr. Dorcas Sajin Bonsu, physician specialists. They're with us, they're teaching us, guiding us when it comes to hypertension. What is it? What does it do? How does it come about? You've got questions, concerns. WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Docs, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I didn't see you stomping. I mean, when I do my Kirk Franklin, I like to stomp.
We were nodding our heads.
You were nodding your heads. Okay, good. Great to have you. How's your Sunday been?
It's been pretty long.
Oh, I see. On duty?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I had to go into airplane mode so I don't get calls whilst I'm on there.
Oh, right. So, listeners, we're blessed to have him. Dorcas,
Yes.
you're also on airplane mode? People calling you?
No, I'm good.
You're good. All right. Okay, last week we learned what hypertension was, okay? More or less chronic condition of elevated blood pressure. We explained to our listeners what the pressure in your arteries really represents, okay? When your heart pumps blood around the body, there's a certain pressure, okay? When it relaxes between pumping or between beats, there's another pressure.
Complement.
These numbers we were made to understand are critical,
Yes.
right? And they have an impact on our health. So there's a normal or normative blood pressure, which is generally considered to be universal. If your heart is healthy, your system is healthy, it should fall within a certain range. Then we have a cutoff or a threshold for elevated blood pressure. Okay, last week we said equal to or above 140/90.
Yes.
Right? Systolic, diastolic. Okay. Now, coming back and building on our discussion from last week, and probably you'll agree with me, in some charts and in some literature and education on hypertension, we have what we know as pre-hypertension, hypertension stage 1, stage 2, and so on and so forth. Okay.
Yes.
Some of my listeners got to me and said, well, okay, the 140, there's one a little below that,
Yes.
right? Before you get to the 140. And some also said, well, the 140 in other charts is established as stage 2 or level 2 or grade 2 hypertension. Can we clarify some of these levels or cutoffs and grades, or should I say stages of hypertension?
Okay, so there are several guidelines. We have the European guidelines and we have the American guidelines.
Okay.
Okay, and in both guidelines, a blood pressure measurement of systolic of 140 and a diastolic of 90 or above is hypertension.
It's hypertension.
Yeah. The terminologies that are different is between, so we usually say the normal blood pressure is 120
Over 80. Right.
Yes, so that means between 120 and 140, what is it? If you're in 122, 130, 139, exactly. So there, some will say it's elevated blood pressure.
Okay.
Some will say it's pre-hypertension.
Okay.
Whatever it is, it's not normal.
It's not normal.
Yes. And we like to do these classifications because it helps in our management. We may want to delay drug therapy at this stage
Okay.
and do lifestyle modification to see if your BPs will normalize to normal before it's established hypertension.
Okay.
But there's no confusion that 140 over 90 is hypertension.
It's hypertension.
And then again, there is grading after that. We have 140 to 159 systolic. We have 160 to 179 systolic, and we have 180 and above.
Okay.
It helps to risk stratify the patient.
Okay.
So if I have a patient whose BP is 140 to, between 140 to 159, we will say maybe that's stage 1.
Right.
Then between 160 to 179, we will say that's stage 2.
Okay.
180 and above is stage 3.
Right.
If I have a patient who is coming in with a BP of 180 and above, that is a patient that I'm going to be very aggressive in my management with,
Okay.
because it's more associated with cardiovascular events at that stage. So
Okay.
that's the essence of the risk classification,
Right.
and then the variables or the different nomenclature.
Okay. Right. So if you're driving and you're speeding, we have a speed limit. All right. You can be various degrees above or below that speed limit. Right. So we are not confused. If you're speeding, you're speeding.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right. But there are degrees of this.
Exactly.
And these degrees have an import on your health, coming back to hypertension
Yes.
and your numbers.
Yes.
And the reason why we should firstly measure, monitor, and determine these numbers.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay? We're not in business if we don't know this at all. Right? Anything that can be measured can be managed.
Yes.
You have not measured. You are not in the business of management of any sort, right? Be it lifestyle or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, so part of the drive, the advocacy, the awareness is to make sure people are checking their blood pressure,
Yes.
and then they can relate it to the systems and the schemes and the meaning. Okay,
Sure.
thank you.
Yes.
Now, Wing Commander, right, in airplane mode, right? Okay, so we said that, well, most people listening to us are not aware of these numbers, have not measured. And indeed, in most cases, hypertension is asymptomatic. It doesn't show any signs or symptoms. Okay, but we mentioned last week that whether it shows signs or symptoms or not, if you are suffering from elevated blood pressure, there's damage ongoing.
Oh, yes.
Okay, can we hit on that again? Because I'm taking that to mean that these markers or degrees of hypertension are used to benchmark your risk profile, like Dorcas just said.
Yes.
So let's come back to that. Even though I don't have symptoms, I think I'm fine. Okay, some 2 known, 3 known, 5 known doctor goes, or somebody in a pharmacy takes my measurement and say, hey, you are not fine. I don't get it, right? Can we relate that, go over that again, the damage that is going on?
Yes, for the target organs that suffer because the blood pressure is increasing, because the hypertension itself is asymptomatic, there are changes that happen within the blood vessels as the pressure keeps increasing.
Right.
And then in those target organs, because the blood pressure, the blood vessel is narrowing, one target organ like the heart has to work extra hard to counter that increased pressure in order to deliver blood to the rest of the body. And as the pressure increases, then it means the workload on the heart also increases. So what happens is that the heart then has to bulk up its muscle. You know, the muscle of the heart walls thicken.
Right.
And the blood supply to that heart doesn't increase as a result of that. So it's like a child that is growing up, yet his food supply is still the same. As he grows up, now there will be a deficiency because the food is not matching his growth. So the heart itself will not have blood supply to itself matching the increase in the heart size. So very soon, because of that mismatch, the heart muscle starts to suffer. And that is when the person starts having symptoms from the damage that hypertension does to one of the target organs like the heart. So then the symptoms start after a heart attack has occurred. But we don't want people to get to that level.
And even before the heart attack, the damage you're talking about has taken place.
Yes.
It's ongoing. So whether heart muscle or heart structure, and therefore subsequently heart function is changing and being compromised, it's going on.
Yes.
Right? You may not have had the direct symptoms overtly, but if we check, and from knowing that you have hypertension, now we will check.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and we must check. Right?
Exactly.
So sometimes you'll be told you have this challenge with your heart muscle or this and that and that and that. And it's likely that hypertension is a culprit.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because the studies have linked the severity of the hypertension with the extent of damage to those target organs. So once you have been diagnosed with hypertension, one of the things that we do is to screen for target organ damage, because it will allow us to risk stratify you, so that if you are in a higher risk of patients, then our treatment modalities will also be more aggressive in order to prevent that damage to from continuing and leading to an end stage organ damage state.
Right. We're talking about hypertension. The station, the dial of distinction and discernment is Joy99.7 FM. The program is Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living. This and every Sunday, 2:05 with me, Nortey by nature. My fellows in cardiology are in the studio. They are physician specialists. They're already specialists, so, but they are getting a bit more too known. But what we're talking about is important. Your vascular, your circulatory system, and your blood pressure, hypertension. Okay, we had them last week. We're doing a bit of tidying up so that you get to know what they're doing. They'll share with us also, before they leave the studio, what they're doing as part of this May month of measurement, right? As the society, or the Ghanaian Society of what? Cardiology. Hey. Putting pressure on my heart too. But anyway, if you have any questions, concerns, 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, and shortly I will activate the phone lines as well. Right, so we've understood this. Same can apply to my kidney, my heart, and so on and so forth. My eyes, and so on. As a downstream consequence of elevated and uncontrolled, sometimes unidentified undiagnosed hypertension.
Yes.
Okay?
Or poorly controlled.
Poorly controlled. So I've been identified, I've been diagnosed, but I'm in the stubborn academy. I play games with hooky with my medication, and so on and so forth. Okay,
Yes.
docs, let me ask this. So yeah, I've been identified. I've listened to Nortey and the doctors. I've been diagnosed. Okay, I have my blood pressure under control,
Okay.
and I think that's cool. I'm fine. So, what's this business about needing to take my medication or needing to keep the control, especially if it is drug control in place for life? Doctors.
Yes. So it's controlled. What is controlling it? That's the question most people don't ask themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we keep making noise about hypertension not being curative, as it's not like a bug that you've caught that will give you some medication to clear
It's
the
not
bug.
infectious.
It's not infectious. And so we'll say, well, you've treated the infection, you are good. Hypertension is managed. It's a chronic condition. Chronic conditions come with a whole lot of psychological distress and all that.
All right.
Such that most people need to understand, be counseled, be encouraged to continually take their medication, because if you stop the medication, you are back to square one.
Okay.
You are back to poorly controlled or uncontrolled. You are the same as someone who has not been diagnosed.
You're leaving
And-
it to chance.
And the damage is ongoing.
Right.
So if you've been diagnosed, your treatment is under control, that's beautiful. You have to keep the control. And the only way you keep your control is adhering to the treatment plan that you have with your physician,
Okay.
whether it's both lifestyle and medication or one of them.
Okay. Right. 24 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Nortey by nature. The program is Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living. We're talking about hypertension. We want you to know your BP. After knowing it, we want you to control it, manage it, and live longer and healthier. That's the message. May month of measurement. Know your numbers. There are the numbers, your sugar, your cholesterol, your BMI. We talked about them. Actually, last week we talked also about risk factors and some possible causative relationships. Some things that can be familial or inherited. Others which are modifiable or not modifiable, right? We heard that, hey, if you're a man, you are more at risk, right?
Yes.
Yes, and so on. So you can't change your sex. You know what I'm saying, tongue in cheek. You can't change your sex, right? Okay? And even if you do, I think this diathesis will still be there.
Yes,
Right, even if
biological.
biological diathesis or disadvantage, right? So those are the things you can't change. But sometimes we know there are other factors
Yes.
which you can change, in fact, which are at your fingertips. And therefore, you may be identified and diagnosed with hypertension, and there are a range of interventions or management strategies that are lifestyle related and therefore indicate and instruct or direct lifestyle modifications. Let me bring my guest to talk about that. Remember, phone lines will be activated shortly. Yeah, it's about 25 minutes past the hour 2. Right. So yeah, when we start talking about lifestyle factors related to hypertension, and we move from talking about them and understanding them to harnessing and mobilizing or managing those factors to manage hypertension, what exactly are we talking about?
Well, basically, because the treatment options for hypertension involve the non-pharmacological options, which target these lifestyle factors, we hammer on them. So through patient education, we let them understand that these lifestyle factors, especially the modifiable ones, can be targeted as an adjunct or as the basis or the foundation for hypertension management. So if you are someone who has a sedentary lifestyle or you don't exercise frequently, then you are encouraged to start an exercise regimen or an increased level of activity to help in your hypertension control. If you smoke, then the smoking is encouraged to be stopped.
It's modifiable.
It's modifiable.
choice.
It's a habit, yes,
Okay.
that you can stop.
Tobacco is the only thing, if you use according to manufacturer's instructions, you will die. Maka. Yeah, but you chose to buy it. You chose to smoke it.
Exactly.
Okay, and you're linking it to this condition, right? And you're being told, cut it down, or indeed stop.
Stop.
Yeah.
That is a lifestyle modification
Exactly.
at your fingertips, open to you, right? Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And another one, like heavy alcohol consumption, because you are given to consuming large amounts of alcohol, and that puts you at risk of developing cardiovascular diseases and related diseases, then that lifestyle can also be encouraged to be modified. And high salt or sodium laden foods,
Right.
and once you are the type that indulges in them because it's a choice, a habit that you can stop or you can modify,
Yep.
then it becomes another target for hypertension management.
Right.
So that all those help to control the blood pressure.
Okay.
And if we are unable to meet our targets, then drugs come in.
Okay. All right. We're not insisting, maybe you clarify that for my listeners. We're not insisting that, we'll start you at kindergarten with lifestyle strategies, okay? We're saying that we can separate or distinguish the management strategies into the modifiable, right? Or the lifestyle things we can target, and then the drug-related interventions.
Exactly.
Okay. So either we're giving you medication, or we think we can manage it by encouraging your discipline in this direction, right? But it's not that if you've been told by your doctor or your physician that modify these things, exercise a bit more. It's not to say that your problem is not serious, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I want my listeners to understand that. I've got this from Emmanuel. He says, Nortey, please ask your guest the reason why my BP drug causes me to urinate frequently, right? So he's relating that to his medication.
Yeah. Some of the medications do that. And we have what we call the diuretics.
Right.
Okay. And that one, it causes you to urinate to reduce the volume of fluid in your vessels. Because like I said last week, volume also goes with pressure. Like you have a balloon that you've blown. The more, sometimes we blow balloon and we fill it with fluid or water.
Yeah.
That is just, the bigger it is, the more pressure within that balloon compared to a smaller blown one with less fluid. So a way of treating hypertension is reducing the volume of fluid in your vessels. And some of the medications causes you to urinate more. And so we talk to our patients, we explain the side effects. Some people, it bothers them, especially if they have to wake up at night to urinate so often.
Okay.
So if it's bothering you, you talk to your physician, we can tell you maybe take it in the mornings rather, so that you urinate during the day and your sleep is not disturbed. So yeah, ways around that.
Okay. So we are managing your fluid, right? And the retention of fluid. And we may want to encourage your system to let some of that go.
Yes.
Yeah. So some of the medications work through that path or on that path, and you may find that this is, should I say, in quotes, collateral discomfort. But you are gaining something very, 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 very important.
Exactly.
Right? So that is why you pee a lot. Dear Nortey, I have listened to your program for quite some time now. I do not know whether or not you have treated sciatica. Sciatica on your program, it's something worrying a lot of people, including myself. In fact, I actually don't know whether it's that or not, because I have neck spondylitis, and the pain from my waist and so on and so forth. Please, can you invite a specialist to talk on the management of this on your program? Now, we've had the chiropractic in the studio. We've done some other things that have touched on this. And we've had to touch on this a couple of programs back. Okay, there's nothing wrong in going back to look at this, so no problem at all, right? I know Dr. Nashele Dodo is celebrating Nova Wellness. It's their 10th anniversary. We'll be having her back in the studio, but there's a range of specialties that deals with this as well, and the nerve, and whether it's a disc that is pinching on the nerve and so on and so forth. So thanks for that. We'll see if we can do you the honors, but we're still talking about hypertension with my guests in the studio. Nortey, please ask your guests. Okay, I've done that. If you have a question, concern, WhatsApp 055 11 11 997, and we're going to activate
FM.
The phone line 0302216541. Okay, so if I'm obese or overweight, again, I can be encouraged to start working on this related to the management of my hypertension.
Yes.
All right. So I don't just look at my physician and say, "Hey, my family, we are big." All right. That one you can't change it. Okay. But now you're big, or in quotes, let me use a Ghanaian English. Your bigness, we want it managed. We can't let it loose because now you have hypertension. Okay. So that's what we're saying.
Yes.
Some people say, "Hey, we are big." All right. But you need to establish that link between what you want the person to do, right, and the health import of that modification.
Yes.
Okay. But some people feel, I mean, it's good to be big. People feel you arrived. You're living good. So does that message go down well, especially in our part of the world?
So, I mean, yes, most people now, I mean, there's awareness. I mean, I've been practicing for a while now, and I think the message about obesity is getting across now. So most people do want to lose some weight.
Okay.
Of course, it's never easy, and management of obesity is a topic on its own.
Right.
From diet, physical therapy to medications, even surgery. So you have to start somewhere and get somewhere. Some people is frankly difficult.
Okay.
And they need to have the full range of therapy available.
Okay.
So yeah. But I wanted to touch on the management, lifestyle, and then drug. Even if you're on medication, we still encourage the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's not as if A or B. A is there, like baseline, lifestyle baseline. Most people need medication.
Right.
And then to stress on what you were saying, if your doctor has not said stop your medication, don't say, "Oh, I heard on radio that they said we can use lifestyle, so I'm stopping my medication." No. If you've been put on medication, you take it until your practitioner tells you that you can stop. If not, you don't stop.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So it's not the case that, okay, I'm taking and I'm quite compliant with my medication, right? So the control is there. So why are you worrying me about my alcohol, my weight, and other things? That's what Dorcas is bringing across.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. You still need to work on it.
Yes.
Exactly.
We need the control.
Yes.
Okay. So don't kid yourself that I'm fine. It's within this range, so I can drink. All right. I can smoke. I can eat what I want. And it's salty, but you see, that's why I'm taking the medication, right? So the salt and all that, and its impact on my BP is counted
It's
by
blunted.
this, right? I'm sure you get this kind of logic from people.
Oh yes, they,
Yeah?
they try to negotiate with you for a way out, so they can continue living that kind of risky lifestyle
okay.
whilst on medication.
They want to live on the edge.
Joy 99.7
Okay.
FM.
All right, we'll swing to the drug treatment in a sec. But some of these complications, you mentioned the heart attack, heart failure, kidney issues, stroke, and so on.
Yeah.
Very often, people they want to hear about the medication. They will call in and ask about BMI and so on and so forth because we haven't gone to stroke and those kind of things. Can we look at some of these downstream, very probable outcomes?
Okay.
I'm struggling. I don't have consistent control of my blood pressure. So how does that lead to a stroke?
Okay, so a lot of research literature has proven, shown that increased blood pressure increases your risk of stroke. And practically we see it every day. So with stroke, it could be that the vessel burst in your brain leading to a bleed, or it could be that there was a clot that blocked an artery, and then the blood supply to part of the brain was compromised.
Okay.
So the symptoms you see is basically due to a compromise in the blood supply to a part of the brain.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. So if you are hypertensive, your risk of getting a bleed in the brain or a clot in the brain is very high.
Right.
Because the vessels are thickened, are narrowed. There's usually deposits of cholesterol there, such that the blood cannot go through. The cholesterol plaque can break off with a clot and then go further down to the narrow parts of the arteries and block it.
Okay.
And then the blood supply is compromised.
Okay.
Or it's so thickened or that it ends up dilating or bulging, and then it can burst.
So
and
essentially, if we're electing candidates for stroke, if you have hypertension, you are in a comfortable lead.
Oh yes.
Yeah? When it comes to
100%.
all the things you're talking about, thickening of the arteries, this, that,
Yes.
you've got it.
Yes.
You win, hands down.
Oh yes.
Yeah? Unopposed.
competition.
That is what our physicians are telling us. So stop
Yes.
kidding with this.
Yes.
This is serious business, all right? So you haven't had a stroke yet. You feel you're fine, but the odds are tipped against you.
Exactly.
You are in a very comfortable lead,
Yes.
and indeed the other candidates may step down for you to have the stroke, right? Pardon my humor, but sometimes I've got to get it across somehow, okay? So that's the serious business we're talking about, right? And you are dancing on the edge, literally playing Russian roulette
Yeah.
with your life, okay?
Yes.
So that is what the doctors are communicating. You can come in 030-221-6541, Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM with me, loud as usual, even with my husky and whatever voice, Nortey by nature, right? The doctors in the studio, Dr. Dorcas Ajin Bonsu, right? She's with the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, physician specialist, and she's upgrading herself beyond 5G, 6G, whatever, to become a cardiologist. She's a fellow in cardiology, as is her colleague next to her, Wing Commander Doctor. Okay? Yes, if you go to KFC, ask for Wings. He's in charge, right? Wing Commander Dr. Benjamin Tobo. He's with the 37 Military Hospital. He's also a physician specialist and also pushing up there when it comes to cardiology. And he's also into, what's the part I love? Military Aircrew Medical Examiner. Which one is that one? Just quickly.
Basically, we certify people who work in the aerospace environment, like pilots, aircraft engineers, and anybody who has to be in that environment for a long time. We want to make sure that you are fit to fly.
So you fly?
No,
You
I
yourself.
don't fly.
You don't
I
fly?
don't fly, but I certify.
Oh,
those
by
who
your wing
fly.
commander.
That's a rank designation.
So Ashore Seaman. All right, okay. The rank is wing commander.
Yes.
Okay.
And,
I can see you in a cockpit though. Yeah.
Oh yes, I mean, before you become a military aircrew medical examiner, you also have to go through
You do all the training, the simulations,
exactly,
and all that. Yeah.
because you must experience that
Okay.
to be able to manage those who are
Great
in
stuff.
that
Okay.
environment.
He's here because of your BP. All right. Naughty by nature, naughty by nature. No, it's naughty by nature. Don't mess around. Okay. How is it that I do a lot of fluids, but my pee is quite colored, and I pee less than the volume I consume? Okay. It goes other places. It does other things. Yes, you perspire. He says I don't
I'm
sweat
wondering
too
if it's
much.
measuring.
Right? He's taking it in and he wants it to come out. When it doesn't, he's worried. It's turned into ice cubes in your stomach. Papa, Ashalibotre.
For what is worth, he should get his kidney test done, and let's be sure everything is fine. But
Let's be sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be sure, right? Okay. There's a system by which you produce urine. Okay, and it's related to your renal system and it's functioning as well. So the physician in the studio is telling us, have that checked anyway, okay? You are not trained and qualified to measure, okay? So that's what it is. You've done your crude measure, you're worried, that's good
Yeah,
enough,
yes.
okay? Let's move it further to get you the relief and the answers you want. Hello, good afternoon, Norte. Kindly ask your resource personnel, what could account for one, mouth tilting to one side when one laughs or want to eat? My left eye can't also blink, I think is the word you want to put. Normally like the right one, and it keeps tearing, right? What kind of sickness is this? Okay, it's not related to the subject we're discussing directly, is it? Or
He's talking about a neurological
Yes.
condition.
Yes.
So
Which
you have
he
to
has
be
to check it out.
seen by a
has he had a
neurologist.
stroke
Yeah.
before and all
Okay.
that? We need more details.
we need more details, okay?
Is the mouth tilting
So
the same
the
side as the
muscle,
eye?
there's a reflex that is happening. Sometimes it's a twitch, but it could be related to other things, okay? And so have that checked out properly. Hello, I play tennis thrice a week, but my only challenge is my Saturday beer after tennis on Saturday. I want to change that lifestyle, but not easy. William, I play tennis, so okay. Since you've confessed on our behalf, right? Again, lifestyle modification. You're dealing with a physician, but you're dealing with your behavior. Okay. Sometimes people like me come in, even though I play tennis and I drink every now and then. All right. So you are modifying behavior, lifestyle modification. You're modifying behavior. Some need more support and help and discipline than others.
Yes.
Okay, and of course, the people who will not mind you, who play with you, who are part of the stubborn academy, right? It's difficult to abstain from something when it's under your nose, or indeed in your glass. Okay, so sometimes for people, modifying behaviors means changing lifestyle and their social groupings, or limiting them and restricting them. That's where they have a difficulty. So you tell people you stop smoking, but you hang around with the people who still smoke, right? So you might need some extra help there, all right? I don't know whether you want to add anything to that.
I was just going to say that the emphasis was on heavy alcohol intake. So I don't know how much alcohol you are taking, but then if you have self-control like we are saying here, and it's a unit a week, we are not going to chase you down.
Charlie, when you are sitting with the people, sometimes you are not even the one buying.
That is where the problem is.
Yes.
How much you are
where
drinking?
boys gather, and then a whole table has to be wiped clean.
All right.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
that's
So,
where the problem
yeah,
comes.
Yeah, it's self-reinforcing. Antobro. You didn't buy, but it is there. Okay, and it's reinforcing socially, right?
Yes.
So you've got to be mindful of the power it has on your behavior and the relationship with your health.
Yes.
Right. Alongside what you're drinking, there also is the salty kebabs and other things which you've got to
Yeah.
balance that as well.
Exactly.
Can you kindly throw some light on your BP medication and being active sexually as well? Being on your medication, we talked
You
about
take
that
that
last
one.
week, right? Francis wanted to know that. Oh, Abeku, please let me finish reading before you move the thing. Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay. Francis Gay wants to know that. We talked about that last week. Hi, Nortey. Doc Cass reported me to her sister, Boahima, that I said Arsenal. Okay, I won't mind you. Humphrey. Boahima will sort you out. All right?
Say that too.
Yeah. I measure my cholesterol. My name is Charles Chagley. I'm hypertensive and my BP level fluctuates between 140/90, 135/87. Always different levels. I'm on medication, but it scarcely goes down. It is difficult for me to go for a walk because I had an accident and I had a spinal cord injury. I do watch my diet, but still my pressure doesn't go down. So he's not achieving the control.
Yeah.
What should I do about this? I did measure my cholesterol and the doctor says that is okay. What else can I do? Quick one.
Okay. So for him, if he can't add the exercise bit, that's fair. What we may do is we may up titrate his dosing,
Okay.
add on, or give him a combination pill.
Right.
So there are ways to control without the exercise.
Okay. Right.
So if he's seeing a healthcare practitioner consistently, and the BP has consistently remained not at target,
right.
then there's room for adding on medication or up titrating what he's on.
All right. So there can be a review there. Good afternoon, Nortey. How are you and your noble doctors? We're fine. Fine. Okay. Thanks for adding me to the noble class. Please, you've spoken on causes of hypertension, including food that we eat. Please, is there a specific type of food stuff that causes it? Because for me, I like rice and gari with soup or stew. Right. From Hayford in Bator, we specifically identify sodium intake, salt intake. All right.
Yes.
Of course, fatty foods and a few other things come up in discussion. But docs, what do you say to that? Is there anything he should be avoiding?
So we just advocate. More vegetables.
More vegetables.
Than more carbohydrates, like a balanced diet, but then cut down on your carbohydrates, your fried fatty foods, more vegetables, more fruits if you're not diabetic and you have no other restrictions.
Right.
But no specific, like don't eat gari or nothing like that. Just more vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when it comes to healthy,
less salt.
Yeah, healthy eating, my dietitians always tell us, is more about your portions.
portions
right?
too.
Not restricting specific things, but the portions and
It's also important.
the balance between the portions
Yes.
and the constituents, carbohydrates, this, that. So be mindful of that. Please, should I take my BP and cholesterol drugs together, or am I okay with the BP medication alone? Now, this suggests, this is na-in-law, suggests that they've been prescribed.
Exactly.
Okay, so you were told how to take them. But docs, any comment?
Yeah, for medications, it depends on how they interact. So, depending on which combination of BP medications and cholesterol medications they've been given, instructions are given on how to take them.
Okay.
And for most of the BP and cholesterol medications, they tend to interact little. So
Yes.
taking them together won't cause too much of a problem.
Right.
But there are other medication classes that you can't take them together. You
Okay.
have to space them hours apart, or one at one side of the day and one on the other side of
Right.
the day. So
Okay.
for her, she
Once
can
it's
take
been
them
given
together.
and prescribed, follow what your physician has prescribed. Okay. There are
Exactly.
people who are taking their Crestor, their Xfog, their this and that, and it's all in the same time space. Hi, Nortey. I take my medication twice a day in case I forget my morning dose and realize the time is closer to the time I've been taking the medicine. Example 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. But I forgot, and it's 12 noon. Can I take it and then take the next one around 10? So he's talking about missing it
Missing doses.
and then shifting
Yeah.
the time he takes. Can he do that?
It's allowable. It's allowable. What we will say is, but then go back to your regular routine by the next day.
Routine and structure is good.
Yeah. So if you need to set timers or alarms or whatever you need to do to
Okay.
remember, do that.
If it becomes too flexible, then we don't even know how and when you are taking
Exactly.
it. Right? Okay. And this is self-report. A very sensitive, touchy thing. I am telling you I took it at this time. Okay, so be mindful of that. Okay, right. I bet he's jumping up and down. I think his BP has gone up. Good afternoon, Nortey. I have been on Novas and Zestril 5 milligrams each for some time now, but because of the cost, the pharmacist suggested I take amlodipine and lisinopril. Any comments? Thanks, Ifwa Inosu. Right, you want us to
We
shoot down?
touched on
Yeah.
that last week.
And he's just mentioned trade names.
Yeah.
You know, those ones that have these proprietary names on them, they tend to be pricier. But a lot of the generics are on the market, and no pharmaceutical company goes out to produce a product that will not work.
Okay.
So a lot of the generics also have been found to be very effective. So if cost becomes an issue, our aim is to make sure that your blood pressure reaches target. So you then have to move on to the generic, and then you take them.
Okay. And, speaking of pharmaceutical products, a generic must be effective.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't issue a generic which is not effective.
Exactly.
Generic just means that you didn't research and produce it. Okay? It doesn't mean that you're going to put Coconte in and compress it into a tablet and people will take, and then you call it a generic. All right? So that's what Doc is saying. Okay? Maybe when he said they've been found to be effective, it might give you... Some people make these arguments. Okay? Right? And we have reason to check some of these things. That's why we have an FDA, a standards board, and all of those things. But if it's
Exactly.
out there as a genuine generic, it's supposed to work.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right? Okay, that's what we're saying. Good afternoon, Nortey. My BP of late is not stable. Please, what should I do? We don't know. You see, because we don't know why it's not stable. We don't know your profile. We don't even know if you're on medication or lifestyle modification. Senam, all right? But
So she should see her doctor,
see your doctor.
and then they will put her on a BP profiling
Chats,
to
yeah.
know what the trend of the BP is.
Okay.
And then if there is any event that she will have to be recording, then where the spikes occur and what happens during that time of day,
Yep.
maybe some acute pain, maybe some stressful life event, all those things are factored in.
Okay.
And then so that it's not just about pushing the drugs in
Yeah.
to control it, but those lifestyle factors that may be
Okay.
influencing the blood pressure. They
So
can
we
also
need to
be
get
handled.
a full understanding
Yes.
of the
Of what's
context
going on.
of this instability in your BP.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. A friend of mine will say, "Oh, I have poverty." Right? But hey, we need to know what's going on with you
Oh, yeah.
and relate it to the changes. I drink four bottles on Saturday. This is the tennis chapter.
Yeah.
You're putting my tennis people in trouble, please, we do our own confessions. I drink like 4 bottles on Saturday. I'm assuming this is beer, okay? But it is only Saturdays. So I've realized that my BP is always high on Sundays, sometimes Monday, even with medication. You see now.
He has his answer already.
Eh?
He has to stop.
William, we need to understand whether your attraction is the tennis or the follow-up. Okay? But we need to sort that out. Is Dr. Tobo the Tobo of What Do You Know fame in those days in the 80s? Did you used to do What Do You Know?
Yes.
Hey, I see. They were twins. They were brothers or twins. Yeah. Bernard and Benjamin. Yeah.
Twins.
One is a urologist. Okay, who's also been on this show. Yeah. So they are twice. Okay, they were great minds. They still are. Okay, this is from Fedba Fi of Oyarifa S. Abeku. Mamin Kazana. Anyway, happy to know. Right. Not a fantastic show. Okay. Next slide, please, Abeku. Abeku is bullying me today. Good afternoon, Nortey. Learning a lot from the doctors in the studio. Happy birthday to my son, Ayemi Ohene Yao Ofosu of St. Albans Anglican School, Community 1, Tema. God bless and provide and protect him enormously, and may he live to fulfill his purpose for you. That is for God. From mom, dad, and your brothers and sisters. Okay, great. Right. I stopped the medication and switched to alternatives such as exercise and beetroot. The pressure range is below 140/90. Am I safe? Chief from Boma. So he stopped, okay, and saying he's not doing medications, he's doing lifestyle and beetroot. Speak to... Abeku, is this the same thing? No. Okay. Am I safe? Chief from Boma. So he's taking a decision. He switched. Stopped and switched.
No.
Right? And the alternatives are exercise and beetroot.
So he comes in, we confirm. So one thing we can do is to let him have a BP profiling down. He checks his BP at the same time of day for consecutive days, or we send him for what we call ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, where we'll track the BP throughout the whole day, and then brings back the data and we analyze. And if the data shows that the BP is truly below, within normal range or below normal, then whatever he's doing, we'll say that it's working. But if it is not, then we'll have to encourage him to get into the better control range.
All right, Doc, you wanted to add something.
Yeah, we see this sometimes. They stop their medications. The BPs are okay for some time. We don't know when he stopped their medications, but sometimes the medications, they have half-lives.
Yeah.
So they're still in the system working, and with time, your BP may shoot up. So like my colleague is saying, the monitoring is important.
Yeah.
So I would say you're not safe. You keep monitoring your blood pressure, and then talk to your doctor. I want to know why you stopped, and if there's anything that we can switch, we'll switch for you. But it's dangerous. It's dicey what he's doing. Yeah.
Right.
We've seen this, and then they will come in and
You
it's
become a pharmacist
200.
overnight.
I'm telling
Right.
you, the BPs can shoot.
And then they will recommend to other people. Jaiwe, beetroot is cheaper.
Yeah.
Is this, is
There's
that.
no
And you
research
see,
showing that
the
controls
cause-effect
BP.
relationship between medication or a regimen of medication and the outcomes is something that must be measured properly
Yes.
and validly. You take this and you say, this is responsible for this. It may be
it's not.
spurious. So be mindful, be careful. It's your health we're talking about. Good afternoon, Doc. My reading this morning was 175124. I'm taking Xfog. My BP is still high. My question is, how do I get it down further? I've done ECG and all the tests, and my organs are okay. I want to know if blood groups have their different pressure levels. Okay, so he's on S4, which is a combination. His BP is high this morning, to read specifically what he says. I don't know whether it's been high all the time, but he wants it to go down further. He's told from tests that organ functioning so far has not been compromised. What do we say?
Yeah, but the blood pressure that
It's
is
high.
being recorded is not good.
Yeah.
So The medication, in giving the medication, we have to modify the drug options for him by either adding an extra drug in order to bring the BP to within normal or within range.
Okay.
So he has to see his doctor, and then they review the drug that he's on, because probably the dose that he's on is not adequate, and will have to either be increased or a third drug be added on.
Yeah.
We have
Okay.
various drug groups
Yes.
that about 6 or 7 different hypertension medications that work through different mechanisms. So those options
and
are
even the
available.
S4 has different strengths and
Different
combinations.
strengths and
Exactly.
So you might go there and say S4. They will ask you
Which strength?
which strength.
Yes.
Okay.
So probably he's on the lower strength.
Yeah.
If he's at the ceiling, then it means that we'll have to probably add
Exactly.
a third drug
Okay.
to it.
I hope this is helpful.
And there are some people with something we call resistant hypertension. They have
Right.
very difficult to control blood
Yeah.
pressure. So
Okay.
if you fall in that group, do not despair. We can titrate your medications and add on as has been said. and
Okay.
then achieve
It's been on the news. This is from the day in Maryland. That home BP measurements aren't done properly, and most, if not all, of these apps readings as well. Thus, starts giving us inaccurate readings. Therefore, there are designated places for people to go to take their BP readings accurately. Does this apply in Ghana?
Yeah, so a lot of noise is being made about home BP measurements because we feel like it gives us a better profile or picture of the person.
Yeah.
But then outside, they have developed apps and other things that you can use. We don't have those apps here. Here, you take it manually and then record for us. And we still use it.
Yeah.
So we educate the patients on how to do it. And then we compare to the in-office ones.
Yeah.
If it's comparable, yeah.
And
we
then
accept it.
also, most people are aware, most of our pharmacies, community pharmacies, and so on, our clinics and things are available.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Once you notice, even in your home measurements, a change or a spike that is irregular, right? It has to be verified.
Exactly.
Right? Sometimes I see something and I say, hey, you sent me this reading. Can you take it again?
Yes.
Most people are encouraged to take 2 readings, right?
Yes.
Space them apart and be able to get a certain profile. So be mindful of that. These gadgets are helpful because they bring you into the envelope, the spectrum of measurement.
Yes.
Yes, accuracy is important, but the fact that you are measuring gives us something to look at and then follow
To
up.
latch on.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you can have it done at a facility, that's great. But you can imagine the number of people at a given facility.
Yeah.
If we can have some backup information over time whilst you are away from a facility, that's helpful.
Yeah.
All right, Docs, we've run out of time, but let me quickly get you to speak on what you're doing in this month of measurement. Okay, Ghanaian society.
Of cardiology.
Yes. What quickly, if you can share with my listeners, are there any
Yeah.
events, any free screenings, any
Yes.
clinics you're doing?
We have. I think we are almost at the end of the month. So the main thing was the media campaign,
Okay.
getting our message across about hypertension and its awareness, because the data showed that about half of the population who are hypertensive don't
Are
even
not
know
even
they are
aware.
hypertensive. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had screenings in Accra, Takoradi, Kumasi, Ho, Tamale. And our last screening was at Abosokai on Friday.
All right.
So we're hoping to talk about last week so that more people will show up.
Oh.
Yeah, but we did it this Friday.
Okay.
And then the main thing is approach your health care.
Go to the facility.
Go to the facility, check your BP.
You don't need a referral. I get to Kolibo, I say, hey, BP, where do I go?
The nurses will check for you.
They'll check.
They'll check and tell
Right.
you if you need to be seen. Then you have to go through the process of the referral.
Okay.
But they'll check and let you know your BP at least.
All right.
So our doors are open. Please
Even after
check
May?
your BP.
Even after May.
After May.
Okay.
May was just designated
It's
to
just an advocacy
Right.
Yeah.
kind
Okay.
of month.
Let
you
me
know.
do this. Otherwise, I will be lynched in Ghana, in Accra.
Okay.
People are asking, will it affect my libido?
Okay.
Will my medication affect my libido? I'm getting it from men, I'm getting it from women. They're trying to blow up my phone here. Libido and BP medication. Please, docs, what's the verdict? What is going on? We talked about erection or potency, right? Yeah. So, yes, if your cardiovascular system is compromised, it can affect your erection,
Yes.
right?
The BP itself does that. High
Yeah.
BP
Right.
messes with erectile function.
All right.
So
It's related to Doomso.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Right.
if the patient takes the medication and has problems, he just has to approach the doctor. So we
Okay.
change to a different form that doesn't bring that problem
Right.
to the fore.
For the men, our erection is visible, measurable, anyhow, right? You can give all the excuses. So we are very particular about that.
Yes,
But
extremely.
women are so libido, my urge, my desire for sex, is it affected by my medication?
None that I know
Right.
of.
Yeah, I don't think there's much on libido and the antihypertensives. Libido, like
There's
other
much
things,
more here.
a lot of things can affect
A
libido.
lot of things,
A lot of things.
including, okay, I won't say it. But hey, please, it takes two people to tango. Okay, there are many factors that come in.
Yeah.
All right, you can't fight with me and expect my whatever to be okay.
Exactly.
You can't be this. Sometimes there's stress. There's tension between the people. Sometimes you are trying to do something secret and it's not happening, or you got caught once or twice, and
Or
then
your
now-
club loses
eh.
your club loses a match.
All right, alcohol affects your
Yes,
performance.
It
Yes.
increases the desire and decreases the drive.
You see, alcohol at low levels of blood alcohol concentration disinhibits.
Yes.
So you feel more outgoing, more sociable, and it is only in that spectrum of low blood concentration. When you cross that barrier, please, alcohol is a depressant.
It tanks you. It just tanks you.
It is a depressant.
Oh, yes.
So you feel you can perform, but please, it's not happening. Okay? It is not an aphrodisiac. Right?
No.
So start understanding. In low levels, okay, it's one of my areas of territory, right?
Okay.
So we teach drugs and we teach their impact. So yes, you take a little, you feel fine, you are talking, you're having a good time. It goes beyond that, please. It's a depressant. Chemically, and by its effect on the nervous system,
Yeah.
alcohol
Depresses,
is a
yeah.
depressant and not a stimulant. Okay? All right, let me just quickly read this out. Good afternoon, Nortey. Always welcome to my... Oh, yeah, today you are late, oh. Okay, we love you all the same. All right, and good afternoon, Commander... Hey, no, I saw Commander. Commander... he spelled...
It's his crucified my name.
Yeah, okay, it's Tobo, right?
Yes, yes.
In the early 90s, even their father accompanied them to the What You Know competition program at the Art Center.
Oh, yes.
Charlie, you are a star.
He's my hero. My dad is my hero.
Hey, Charlie, what do you know?
Exactly.
Yeah? Thank you so much, doctors Tobo and
Ajinbo.
Ajin Bonsu. When women combine maiden name and other things, Charlie, they will tell you before the program. Charlie, if you don't mention the other one, when I go home, I'll be in trouble. Have we done the deed properly?
You have, thank you.
Dr. Dorcas Ajin Bonsu. Please, mister, we thank you for releasing her on a Sunday. But we thank you, our discerning listeners, for joining us. We've crept a little beyond 3 o'clock. So the information, the education is important, not just in May. Know your numbers, control the BP, and live longer and healthier. My name is Nortey by nature, produced by Abeku San Kofi. Stick and stay on Joy 99.7 FM. The good stuff continues. Don't go anywhere.
mix of my favorite music.
All on one radio station.
You guys play the variety I want to hear.
I love the variety.
You're the best. You guys are great.
I get the best mix of my favorite music.
We love it.
It's a great station.
It is the best station.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Chemistry was crazy from the get-go. Neither one of us knew why. We didn't build nothing overnight, cause a love like this takes some time. People swore it off as a phase, said we can't see that. Now from top to bottom, they see that we did that. Yes, it's so true that, yes, we've been through it. Yes, we got rich. Yes, see baby, we've been too strong for too long. And I can't be without you, baby. And I'll be waiting up until you get home, cause I can't sleep without you, baby. Anybody who's ever loved you know just what I feel. Too hard to fake it, nothing can replace it. Call a radio if you just can't be without you, baby. Yeah. I got a question for you. See, I already know the answer, but still I wanna ask you, would you lie? No. Make me cry? No. Do something behind my back and then try to cover it up? Well, neither would I, baby. My love is on the up and up. Yes. I'll be faithful. Yes. I'm for real. Yes. And with us, you'll always know the deal. We've been too strong for too long. And I can't be without you, baby. Oh, and I'll be waiting up until you get home, cause I can't sleep without you, baby. If anybody who's ever loved you know just what I feel. Too hard to fake it, nothing can replace it. Call the radio if you just can't be without you, baby. Yeah. See, this is real talk. Come on, always stay. No matter what, good or bad, thick and thin, right or wrong, all day, every day. Hey, now if you're down on love or don't believe this ain't for you, no, this ain't for you. And if you got it deep in your heart and deep down you know that it's true, come on. Well, let me see you put your hands up. Hands up. Fellas, tell your lady she's the one. Fellas, tell your lady she's the one. Oh, put your hands up. Hands up. Ladies, let him know he's got your love. Look him right in his eyes and tell him we've been too strong for too long. And I can't be without you, baby. I'll be waiting up until you get home, cause I can't sleep without you, baby. With anybody who's ever loved you know just what I feel. Too hard to fake it, nothing can replace it. Call the radio if you just can't be without you, baby.
All the many days you were on my mind. Visions of me with you all the time. You wasn't looking for a man, you made it clear. And now I'm ever so glad that I have you near. Here in my life, just you and I. We can do whatever we want to. Living my life with you by my side. Oh, one day I'ma make you my wife, baby. I was excited, cause I was falling in love with you. Now that I've fallen, what am I gonna do? I was excited, cause I was falling in love with you. Now that I've fallen, what am I gonna do? puts a smile on my baby's face. Girl, you're my best friend, and you can never be replaced. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do for you. You were one of my favorite dreams, and I'm so glad that it came true. Here in my life, just you and I, we can go anywhere we want to, baby. Living my life with you by my side. Woo. One day I'ma make you my wife. Yes, I am. I was excited, cause I was falling in love with you. Falling in love now with that you. I'm falling, what am I gonna do? Oh, I've gone beside myself. I was excited, cause I was falling in love with you. And it feels so good now to me, baby. Falling, what am I gonna do? Since I gave you all my trust, and you never take my trust for granted. You giving so much love, and you're giving me so much love, baby. I want and need. You're everything I want and I need, baby. You got the best. Oh, you got the best of me. Break it down. Oh, I was falling in love. I don't know what to do, I just love you. With every inch of my body, falling in love.
I sing a song after my dad. Cause
You'll just
when
take
I
it
came to
one
how I was feeling about this girl, he told me he used to write poetry, so I'm gonna try to poetically explain how I feel.
Girl, you know that you're the apple of my eye. To me, you're like the cherry in my cherry pie. I wake up early like a sunrise to be there for you when you wake up. And I can't seem to get you off my mind. Cause since the day we met, I've been on cloud nine. I think that's why I didn't recognize I wasn't putting in enough time. Girl, don't you leave. Fire with no flame, girl, it's on you. Girl, it's on you. Honey, maintain. You will know me. The earth with no seed, bird with no beef. That's the way I'm gonna be. Nothing without you. Like a fire with no flame, girl, it's on you. Girl, it's on you. Honey, maintain. You will know me. Earth with no seed, bird with no beef. That's the way I'm gonna be without you. You're like a doctor, I put in work. I'm feeling more like a fighter cause you made me hurt. So I know that things ain't perfect, but in my heart you're worth it. Hope you change your mind cause I'm worthless. Like a football player, put it over time. Know that you ain't happy, wanna know till why. Give me half a chance, girl, I'm bringing romance, girl. And it's I'm nothing without you. Like a fire with no flame, girl, it's on you. I can hardly maintain. You will know me. The earth with no seeds, bird with no beef. That's the way I'm gonna be. Nothing without you. Like a fire with no flame, girl, it's on you. I can hardly maintain. You will know me. Earth with no seed, bird with no beef. That's the way I'm gonna be without you. Don't you leave? Said I try my best to be everything that you might need. Tell me, baby, why'd you leave? Baby, don't you leave? Said I don't know everything. Just a little young nigga from the street. Baby, don't you leave? Said I try my best to be everything that you might need. Tell me, baby, why'd you leave? Baby, don't you leave? Said I don't know everything. Just a little young nigga from the street. Like a fire with no flame, girl, it's on you. I can hardly maintain. You don't know me. The earth will no seed, bird with no beef. That's the way I'm gonna be. Nothing without you. Like a fire with no flame, girl, it's on you. I
Well, they both held tight to face it. They were out, she was about to take them. She was full of such trepidation. There in front of the whole damn nation. It was whoa, can't predict the coming storm. Promise that you'll keep me warm. I don't wanna play this wrong. He said, yo, I've been loving you so long. Ever since that Bone Thugs song. You ain't gotta break down, you're too strong. Ooh, shots around me, playing confessions and our bodies blending. Ooh, I'm in love, it's true. Yeah, damn, I'm with you. And we all make mistakes sometimes, but we muddle through. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, baby, I'm in love, it's true. With you, with you, baby, I'm in love, it's true. We're so breaking on the shore as we were sneaking through that door. Had to leave by 4:30. Still I yearn to touch you more and more. It was whoa, can't predict the coming storm. Promise that you'll keep me warm. I don't wanna play this wrong. He said, yo, I've been loving you so long. Ever since that Bone Thugs song. You ain't gotta break down, you're too strong. Ooh, shots around me, playing confessions and our bodies blending. Ooh, I'm in love, it's true. Yeah, damn, I'm with you. And we all make mistakes sometimes, but we muddle through. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Baby, I'm in love, it's true. And ooh, shots around me, playing confessions and our bodies blending. Ooh, I'm in love, it's true. Yeah, damn, I'm with you. And we all make mistakes sometimes, but we muddle through. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, baby, I'm in love, it's true.
Sorry, we shall be born and deal with your more, and I broke my promise. Near me can't you didn't train a man, sorry. Hinting ya will pay beer, I would to me, dear me. Near we pay you now, can't a mayor marble. Metivia Simunia now, men you be out to sell. We have many more, will be what's my favor. Cause I'm in love with you now. Put up a palm, girl, I'm in love with you now. Said I'm in love with you now. Girl, I'm in love with you now. Said I'm in love with you now. Girl, I'm in love with you now. You were always on my mind. Said I'm in love with you now. I promise on my life. I'm in love with you now. What else? Now. Girl, I'm in love with you now. Now.
Sorry, you took my heart, ripped it out, and you stomped on it. Now I'm crying, yeah, you lied to me. Boy, I should have known you would do it to me. And if you know what to me, I am on me. Cause I gave it all to you, so now who I am me. I know I miss you, but I can't do it. Cause I'm in love with you now. I'm in love with you now. I'm in love with you now.
into me edit to West, no one by one, give us a true. A piano man, the book, as I'm here, what bomb is too. Yes, if I'm a bonnet chairman, I pepper me in the sewer. Now. Then I'm in a tear me job home alone. Me be a condab one tear me sound so do me phone. And ram me fire so I'm changing my voice the tone. Now I'm so ashamed, can't even call you my own. Tell them what if I'm a bonnet chairman, I would jam a hot tear me woo. Now, become a papa, would jam me, I'm my near me woo. Saka me one tabank, I say similar me too. If you have any mas near me, yeah, would you pay me woo? Never.
Promises were weak, you could never keep. I try to understand why my love will still remain. 'Cause I love you, baby, want you, baby, the only one who can make me say oh. Whoa.
The atmosphere is charged for rivalry and fun. Yes, it's the 12th edition of the Hit FM Rep Your Jersey powered by Bet365. Can Man City win the first ever Champions League trophy, or will Inter Milan grab their 4th title? It's the Citizens versus the Nerazzurris. Wear your favorite club jersey and join us at the Aviation Social Center Saturday 10th of June for the Hit FM Rep Your Jersey. Powered by Bet365, 10 a.m. till you drop. There'll be lots of fun, excitement, entertainment, and amazing prizes to be won. Activities include a Jama Wash and Field contest, sports quiz, five-a-side soccer, and many more. You don't want to miss this entertainment and fan-packed day as we climax and watch the finale of the UEFA Champions League in grand style on a giant screen. Follow us on our social media platforms with the hashtag HitRepYourJersey23. The Hit FM Rep Your Jersey is powered by Bet365, supported by Joy Sport and Joy Prime, and sponsored by Shell Talks Lozenges. Think natural, think Shell Talks. Leopard Balm, Fast Action Pain Balm. Nasco, bring home happiness. Heineken, share the passion. Jamal Soap, your partner for clean clothes. National Petroleum Authority, Day by Day Man from Dream Cosmetics. Dream it, live it. Aquadot Natural Mineral Water. Wupenum Anubio. Citizen Sports Mall. Franco Trading Enterprise. Phone Papa Fear. DSTV, feel every moment. Go TV, love it. It's a Hits of Fame Rep Your Jersey.
Here, I did here. Bet365 is officially available in Ghana. Be part of the action and bet on live games with in-play betting. And when you join and deposit to your account, you go receive 2 times that amount in bet credits, up to 300 cedis when you play qualifying bets. Bet credits can be used on any sport across a wide range of markets. Maji, visit the official site at bet365.com.gh. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is
Joy 99.7 FM, and it's the final day of the English Premier League. And of course, we know the winners of the Premier League already. Manchester City, Daniel Cranton's Manchester City. They've already been crowned champions of the Premier League. But it's the battle relative to who is going to be relegated. We know Southampton are already relegated. And for Daniel Cranton, it looks like Leeds United are already done for him. But they are still in the mix as far as the permutations are concerned. But all attention is on Everton. All they need to do is to win and they stay up. And hopefully we can continue to experience the Merseyside derby. But is Leicester City going to pull a surprise? Is Leeds United going to pull a surprise? Because we saw it happen in Germany in the Bundesliga when Dortmund, Bottlers FC, just like Arsenal, just like Indiana Stars. My God, how do you do that to your very own fans? This is Sports Arena. This is the final day of the English Premier League. My name is Razak Musbah and my co-host is Daniel Cranton. You're going to hear from him shortly, but it's exciting and we love it.
there's a part of me that feels like I wish this was the day we were deciding the Premier League title, but it's not happening. It is who is going to go to relegation. Dana Martin's Leicester City, Andrea Hughes, Nottingham Forest are already safe, and so we don't have much to say about that. But Daniel, interesting games coming up. Is Everton going to stay up, or it's Leicester who are going to pull the magic? Or just maybe some Allardyce Leeds United might do something.
I've seen miracles happen. I've forgotten this. I think it was 2004, 2005, where Portsmouth stayed up, or no, else where West Brom who stayed up. They needed on the last day 2 teams to mess up, and those 2 teams went ahead and they messed up, and they did their job. But today, I don't think that will happen for Leeds United.
But you believe in miracles?
No, I believe in miracles, but you see, there are some teams that just know how to do this thing, and Everton are one of those teams. To be playing at home against Bournemouth, you don't expect them. And you see, even if Everton drops points, the likelihood of Leicester City and Leeds United also dropping points is high, considering the opponents they are facing. Leeds United are facing Tottenham Hotspur. Leicester City are taking on West Ham. So I think it's prime for Everton to run away with that last spot.
I think Everton did it last season with Frank Lampard, and we saw just when the final whistle went by, the fans ran to the stadium. In fact, it was great.
In that game, they were down by 2-0, and they came back from 2 goals down to win it. So, as I said, they just understand how to do this business. But the relegation fight is always very interesting. Yesterday, we saw the last team from the Championship being promoted in Luton Town. What a brilliant story they've had.
Absolutely
from non-league football to Premier League.
I'm telling you.
And we'll see who will go and join them.
What interested me when I saw them post the entrance to their stadium, I was like, come on, guys, come on. I mean, how could this be a Premier League ground?
Shocking, but but it's a fantastic story. And yes, today we'll see the last 2 teams that will drop to the Championship to go and join Kamaldeen Suleiman's Southampton.
Well, we'll wait to see. There are a few other games also happening in the English Premier League. Of course, Manchester City are playing Brentford in there. As far as the top 4 is concerned, it's already sealed. We know Manchester United, Newcastle, Arsenal, and Manchester City will play in the Champions League come next season. So there's not so much, in contention there. Not sure. Is there contention as far as Europa places are concerned? Is that something also in contention?
The European places are sealed. It's as to who will qualify to which competition. That's what we don't know yet.
We know Brighton have already sealed their qualification to the Europa League, and they'll be there with what's his name, Liverpool. So I think for Europa places, that's confirmed.
It's between Brentford, Tottenham, and Aston Villa. That's what we don't know yet. So
for the Conference
League.
The
Conference League. So 5th and 6th, that is Liverpool and Brighton have already sealed their places in the Europa League. But for the Conference League, as it stands, Aston Villa are in that position. They are 1 point ahead of Tottenham, 2 points ahead of Brentford. So there's still some.
So who's going to play Conference League? Can you imagine? All of a sudden, Tottenham Hotspur are fighting to see if they'll play Conference League or not. Well, guys, the games have all kicked up, across the various centres. We're going to join our partners, BBC, to bring us up to speed on that. And, of course, trust them, they're going to bring you update on all the games happening across all the grounds and keeping close eyes on those relegation battle in the Leicester City game, Leeds United game, and even the others. And after the first half commentary, we'll be here to bring you some analysis. And guys, this show is going to run all the way to 6 p.m. So we have a lot to talk about. We have to deal with Dortmund because you don't do that to your fans. For a moment, I said if Dortmund was a Ghana Premier League club, I don't think the players might get home safely. I don't think so. Guys, this is Sports Arena. This is Joy99.7 FM, and it's the final day of the English Premier League. And here is the first half commentary, probably from all the Premier League grounds.
You know, have your company. And here we are at Goodison Park on a bright, sunny afternoon, 0-0. And of course, we'll keep you abreast of what's happening at Ellen Road and also at Leicester City as well. And Kilmarnock are leading Ross County by 2-1, and that means that Ross County will be playing Partick Thistle in a playoff to avoid relegation. So, Stephen, all about the start because the enthusiasm and the passion is clear to hear as far as the support from the stands is concerned.
Yeah, you've got to keep that passion and support up, and you've got to do that by closing down, by turning Bournemouth, turn the back line as much as you can. That'll be difficult. Bournemouth trying to take the sting out of the game already. They're slowly passing it round the back, trying to draw Everton out of position. The other change that we've actually seen in midfield is Decore. We thought he'd play higher up. It's not. It's Onana who's just playing off Damari Gray as well. So Onana's been given the freedom